Being slow. There we go. What's up, everybody? This is the Six Gaming Podcast. Welcome to episode number 37. In a row?
No.
We got with us the Spider King. Say hi.
Veg, and I'm not the Spider King. I'm the murderer of kings.
Okay, you're the Spider Queen. Got it. And also with us today, who I understand just had a birthday not too long ago.
What?
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
That's about all the celebration you're going to get out of Veg today. We got a great episode for you today. Lots of news today. And I'm going to hit it off first right away with the big news of the announcement of the release date of World of Warcraft Warlords Draenor will be Thursday, November 13th, just after BlizzCon. What do you guys
Yay.
What do you guys think of the timing? Just very shortly after BlizzCon. It's the quickest they've released something after their main convention.
I think
it's funny that you'll probably still be on a plane when it gets released.
What are you talking about? I'm going to be home that Sunday night.
I think it was way too long after the last raid patch.
That's a good point. 14 months is going to be the life cycle of patch 5.3 after what I thought were some very quick releases for 5.1 and 5.2.
Mm-hmm.
We have just been sitting here in Siege of Orgrimmar forever, it seems like. No new content. Their subscriber numbers keep going down, although they keep claiming, hey, it's China, it's China. Sure, it's China.
I understand that if the top guilds had finished the current raid tier, they wanted to give them new content.
Yeah.
But they really could have spaced out. Like, we hadn't finished the first couple raids when the new raids came out, and we hadn't finished we hadn't finished Throne when Siege came out, and
well, Throne of Thunder was a special issue for 6 minutes because we didn't have the staff to finish it. We were canceling raids left and right. We couldn't get by that second boss forever. We only had 4 bosses when the next patch came out.
Yeah, but I know other people that were having trouble on Throne. So I mean, I'd like to see the data to see how many guilds had actually cleared most of the content before they released a new thing, and I would be willing to bet that most of the guilds had not cleared that content.
Right.
No, a couple of my friends said that they were literally 2 bosses short when they released the patch, which they said was just complete BS.
Yeah, they definitely got the spacing wrong with Mists of Pandaria, and I really hope that they fix it with Warlords because I'd like to have a chance to finish these. Finish something other than the final patch before an X-Pack, before the next set of stuff comes out, because people in guilds like ours tend to have ADD syndrome, and they just want the newest thing, and they won't go back to all the old things. So, which I'll get to a little bit later tonight regarding that. But yeah, a lot of stuff has been coming out. They've released not only the Tier 17 models, but they've also released some Tier 17 set bonuses as well. One of the things I wanted to bring up, and I was looking at the Paladin set bonuses, and what interested me about those was the fact that the 4 set bonuses tend to synergize with the 2 set bonus, which I think is really cool. Like, for instance, you'll have, I believe, don't quote me on this, but like the Retribution 2 set bonus is when you hit something, when you do a certain skill, there's a 25% chance that you'll get a free Hammer of Wrath, which normally you can only use when you're under 20%.
Or when you have the wings.
Yes. And then the 4 set bonus says that when you use that, there's like a 30% chance that you can get a free Exorcism or something like that. So it's just like the skills kind of build off each other, making the 4 set bonus even more powerful than just the text itself.
Kind of like how Divine Storm procs off itself, a little bit like that, with the 4 set bonus.
Like that, except, I mean, that's just the 4 set bonus proccing off the 4 set bonus. There's nothing to do with the 2 set there. So it's very interesting stuff that they're putting out. Yeah. So that's about all I wanted to bring up for World of Warcraft, but Penth, I understand you've got some interesting news about Warlords as well.
Yep, they got. There was a blue post in the last couple of days. It might have even been today, where someone was asking about on the beta. There's on PTR. There's basically the seals where you had to collect the whatever it was, the charms for us for the last patch. You had to collect all the different charms, and then you got the major charms, and then you got various seals. That has changed in Warlords, and you can do it with some dailies out of your garrison, but you can also just buy it with gold. And there's some people bitching. They're like, we don't have enough gold. We never have enough gold to raid. We never have enough gold to repair. Blah blah blah. And they basically said that they're getting rid of Valor and the other one that I'm blanking on right now. Justice and Valor, and instead they're rewarding you hefty amounts of gold. I don't know what hefty means, but so they're replacing that with gold, and then you can buy your seals with gold.
Interesting. I kind of like that because I was kind of getting sick of the old Justice and Valor system. I just don't like the way they implemented that this last patch with all the limits and stuff like that. Yeah. It's just very it's limiting.
1,000 Valor for a week, and you can cap out in 2 hours.
Well, that's the thing. Is for me, I never got bonus rolls because I could come and raid occasionally, but I didn't have time to log in and do dailies for 3 hours and get my stupid charms. So if I can buy it with gold, then...
My thing, for instance, is like I farmed the heck out of 5.0. I got so many charms that I never had to farm again for the rest of the X pack. I'm going to actually run out of seals in 4 weeks. That's it. And that's all the seals that I had. And I'm not going for the seals themselves. That's just how many I got doing stuff naturally over the course of the X pack.
Yeah.
Ron?
Yeah.
I have 15,000 of the lesser charms.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't know how I have so few. I think I just only did dailies until I had exactly what I needed, and then I left.
Now, what I don't like about the seals, of course, is that if you use a seal, sometimes you get gold, sometimes you get a piece of gear. I'd be more in favor of making these seals a little more rare, and then guaranteeing some.
I wouldn't mind that. What I would like them to do is only give you something that you didn't already have if you did win something. Or at least not the same thing that you just got. Like sometimes something drop, like an item drops, and then you roll for seal, and then you get the same item.
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I've gotten the same belt on my shaman 5 weeks in a row. Off of Ordos. Yeah. I just threw my hands up and gave up.
Yeah, you don't need that. So. Yeah. Cool. Anything else with the X-Pack?
Garrisons are going to be...
Also, non-Warcraft related, Doctor Who aired tonight.
Thank you, Dan.
So you should go watch that.
Yes.
He points out that you don't have to do dailies for charms. You can do pet battles as well. And there's just so many ways to get charms. I mean, that just feeds to the point that just by naturally doing stuff other than specifically farming up charms, you're getting charms.
When you go on the Timeless Island smack things, I think I picked up like 300 charms.
You pick up so many charms. It's just crazy. So, yeah. Anyway, Veg with a little more World of Warcraft stuff.
Yeah, if you didn't hear and you live under a rock, Robin Williams, unfortunately, offed himself, to say the least.
One way to put it.
Yeah. He, as tribute, not tribute to the act itself, but for Robin Williams, they are going to be adding him into WoW as a comedian, and he's supposed to look like a djinn. So, I thought that was at least pretty cool. They were also trying to say people were trying to get petition. Is that how you say it? Petitions?
Petition, yes.
Petition.
Words mean
for legend. Yes, for Legends of for the people who make Legend of Zelda, because he named his daughter Zelda. So
after the game.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Robin Williams was a very big gamer. He was into World of Warcraft very heavily. Like they just mentioned, his daughter was named after Zelda of Legend of Zelda. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty neat thing that they're doing. The Djinn, of course, a tribute to his role in Aladdin as the genie, which who hasn't seen Aladdin? That movie was just badass.
Yeah, exactly.
It was one of my favorite movies. So.
And Gamescom was last week. It's done now, but it was huge for a lot of Yeah, it had a lot of WoW stuff. Well, it had a lot of Blizzard stuff. It had a lot of. It was basically the E3 of Europe. Hey. And they also had League of Legends there. They had anything pretty much you can think of, except for I think what was it? Nintendo was the only gaming console that wasn't there.
They still have the presence, from what I understand.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
the only thing I think on the last episode I touched on Nintendo not being there, but they were having a presence as well. So.
Yeah. Well, all they have to do now is just throw Smash Brothers and Zelda at people, and they just orgasm.
Yeah,
so
that's Nintendo's business model, and it works.
Oh, we're about to go bankrupt. Let's make a Smash Brothers game.
Smash Brothers. We'll put out another Zelda game. Here we go.
We're out of the hole now.
Right there.
We're number one in selling consoles.
Doesn't take much. Yeah. So. And before we close out the news segment, there is one thing that I want to bring up that's actually been ticking me off as of late. I know it's been ticking Veg off, and we talk about people who are doing stuff like DDoSs all the time, and lately there's been this one really bold, ballsy DDoSer. He goes by the handle on Twitter of Lizard Squad, and today especially, he's just been going nuts. He's been bringing down. Here's a list of things that I've seen him bring down, and it's World of Warcraft, Diablo 3, StarCraft, Hearthstone, all of those, League of Legends, EVE Online, WildStar Neverwinter,
RuneScape.
What was that?
RuneScape.
Yeah, RuneScape. Twitch. He actually took down Riot's Twitch channel somehow. No idea. And he'll announce them on Twitter, and then it happens. So it's a legit thing, and it just ticks me off because
he's also taken down 2 federal government websites.
Yeah,
too.
2 federal. He's a bunch of websites. I mean, this is a big operation. This isn't just some small time.
I think it's a group of people with super servers.
Yeah, it's got to be. This can't be a single person operation the way they're doing it. Now, what's interests me is that I've been actually reading a lot about on this guy's Twitter, and apparently someone's come up with a Twitter handle of Who's Lizard Squad, WHOS, with an attempt to expose the members of this group. So, my opinion is these guys are so bold, so ballsy. They're just going ham with this. They're going to be in jail in a month. What do you think?
Yeah. I wanted them to hit Phantom Lord because so far every DDoSer that's done that has been arrested because they hacked.
There you go.
Phantom Lord.
You don't want them to hit Phantom Lord because you dislike Phantom Lord. You want them to hit him because you don't.
Because every time they hit him, oh no, I love Phantom Lord. He's awesome. It's just when they. Oh my god, they pissed me off. I was trying to play League today. Oh no, we're gonna shut that down. Oh, okay, well that's down. I'm gonna go play some WoW. No, we're gonna shut that down. Okay, well, I'm going to go play StarCraft 2. Nope. And I'm like, are you kidding me? What the hell's the point of having internet if I can't even play a freaking game?
It's terrible. And what gets me is that these people probably are. I'm not going to go and say they're like brilliant genius minds or anything, but they obviously have a little more mental capacity than the average Walmart shopper. But
that ain't saying much.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing: why don't they use this for more legitimate purposes? Like go after something related to Ferguson. Make a civil rights statement. Maybe counter-hack China with all the stuff they're doing.
Become the gold spammer to Chinese people.
Yeah, why? Why target entertainment?
I think
that's the question.
They probably got teabagged too much in Halo and didn't enjoy it, or in CS or something. And then a kid in Call of Duty called him a fag and GG'd it.
And one thing led to another, and all of a sudden they're taking down all these sites to get back at all the people for keeping them in the Bronze 5 division.
Yeah, going down to Wood 1.
Wood 1. Yeah, so... I wanted to bring that up because I'm sure a lot of people that watch this podcast are affected by that, especially if you play World of Warcraft, League of Legends. Those are 2 of the biggest ones he hits. He hits him multiple times in a day. He's hit Blizzard twice. It's like every time there's an outage, I go to his page and he announced it 15 minutes prior. It's just stupid. So,
yeah, I was in the middle of an LFR earlier when I just lost connection.
Yeah.
That I waited almost an hour and a half for. I wanted to throw something.
Yeah. And then the other thing that he does is one of the reasons he brings these down is he'll go to these Twitch pages of the mostly girl gamers, the ones that like show the cleavage and they're obviously there not to play the games but to look hot and stuff like that, and they'll take down the game that they're playing, and then make a ransom of like write Lizard Squad on your forehead, something stupid like that, something that clearly makes these trolls out to be like 12-year-old kids.
I was just gonna say they're probably 12 if that's what they're asking for.
I mean, then also, it's just stupid.
So Re-asks, I don't understand why people who don't like the games shut them down. You don't like them, ignore them, and leave the rest of us alone. Honestly, think about bullies on a playground. They don't like some kid, so they pick on them. They don't just ignore them.
Exactly. So. It's internet bullying on a grand scale. And you know what's going to happen? And this is why I say these guys are going to be in jail. Yes, this is entertainment, which, it's just a game. It may not be a big deal to them. How much money does Blizzard and Riot and NCSoft and whatever Eves, I forget Eves. CCP. How much money do these guys bring in, and how much money are they losing whenever these DDoS?
Sure. It's disruption of service. It's
Riot.
And this is why these people are going to go to jails, because...
Well, not only that, they're attacking federal websites, too.
And these big companies are going to find these guys. They always do. Otherwise, if it was impossible to find these guys, this would be a rampant thing that's happening all the time. Right?
Yeah. And
all the time you hear of, this hacker group got busted and 3 of them are going to jail. It's these people will get found. You're going to get caught. They're going to get brought to justice, and it's going to be GG.
Especially when you piss off Blizzard and Google. Those are 2 powerhouses you never want to mess with.
Exactly.
Google alone knows where you live. Why would you want to mess with somebody who knows where you live?
Google knows what color
Google knows
underpants you're wearing right now.
More than where you live.
Yeah, they know what's inside me.
Well, it's hard not to know what's inside you. It's
everything that you see.
Exotic matter,
No, but it's just stupid. It really is. All it does is piss people off, and it's just another form of trolling. At the end of the day,
this goes beyond trolling. Trolling is, is harassment of.
Yeah, and then I know for a fact that Blizzard and Riot are losing money just for the simple fact Riot, every time they take them down, it takes about 2 to 3 hours to bring them back up.
Oh God, that's just terrible.
Yeah, so I haven't been able to get on.
I don't know if I'm going to check Battle.net right now, because about 15 minutes before we went on the air, my wife Kathy, you guys know her, Salitha. She
we're still knocked off.
To get on Battle.net, and she was getting some issues.
Yeah, I'm in queue for logging in.
I actually am logged in on Battle.net right now, so I don't know. Maybe they've dealt with it. Who knows? But
it's getting
it's ridiculous.
Stupid.
So hopefully sooner rather than later something gets done about this.
Well, I hope they get arrested before November. That's all I have to say.
Why November? For the X-Pack, right?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. So all right. So that's it for the news.
Nope. I got a bonus. I got bonus.
Bonus, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it's short and it's funny. So apparently, YouPorn. Yes, YouPorn is going to be sponsoring an esports team.
Why are we talking about porn on the podcast? We don't even have Coles here.
Well, I know he was going to bring it up because he's the one that showed me this. It is freaking hilarious. They have a team shirt and everything, but I don't know what team or what game it's going to be. I know for a fact it's not going to be League of Legends.
I saw Dota.
I think it is Dota too.
But
I think it's hilarious. Their team shirt looks awesome, though.
Of course, they tried to recruit Joe Miller from the EU LCS to work
to sponsor them, yeah,
so to speak.
So it is a legitimate thing. I know. I don't know
about it being legitimate, but it's a thing at the very least.
Yeah, it's a funny thing.
God, it's just crazy. So anyway.
I still think it's funny. People give so much flack for porn websites doing donations and stuff like that too, which is just hilarious in its own right.
They think the money's dirty.
Yeah,
money.
Dirty money. They have to wash it first. Get all those. Oh.
We just took a south turn here at the Six Gaming Podcast, folks.
It is after 11 in some places.
Oh, let's move on. We're done with that. So we're going to move on to the game pick of the week.
Woo.
Yeah. All right. So let's have Pantherian start because he's been a little quiet. But what you got?
Wait. Okay. So Myst. I've mentioned Myst in the past, and I made Shosan really upset that I have a Myst novel signed by the team that created the game Myst.
Mm-hmm.
And what they were doing is that they're making the new game Obduction, and at it's not called MystCon, but it was Mysterium is their little convention thing. And they showed a tech demo, and it's actually looking pretty good for only being a couple months into production. They've got all the shadows, like the lighting and the shadows and stuff, and a lot of the stuff is textured in the area that they showed. And it's pretty cool that the items, they want to let you interact with all the items. So I don't know if you've ever played the game The Room, which is a iOS game. No. It's probably on Android.
I've heard of it now that you mention it.
It's a sort of puzzly escape the room thing, but it's in a nice 3D environment, and you can move things around, and like you'll have like this little chest, right? And you open up the chest, and there's a lockbox inside, and you look around the chest, and you find that you can actually unscrew one of the legs a little bit, and a key falls out of it. Like there's all these little hidden compartments on things. So they've shown that all the items in the game, well, many of the items in the game, you can interact with more than just picking them up and then putting them back down somewhere else. So it's going to be a little bit more complex than the last games. So it looks pretty cool, and I'm really excited for them to do it because I had a lot of fun playing.
When was the last game from the Myst series made? Wasn't it like a while ago?
Myst 5.
Wow.
Called Ages Beyond Myst, or End of Ages, was released in 2005. So it's been almost 10 years.
Yeah. I know it's been a while since I've heard of a Myst game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Huh. Pretty neat.
So that's all I got.
All right. Veg, what you got?
This week I picked up a game that that Gameville, or I like to call them Game Evil.
Game Evil, yeah.
They're a Korean company that makes Spirit Stones, but they also made the game that I just started playing. They made it about a month ago or so. People are already high level beating it, which is ridiculous. But it's called Critica. What it is, it's a phone game. It's iPhone and Android. I don't know if it's Windows. I don't care.
Huh.
I'm sorry, Windows just gets screwed every time when it comes to their phone.
One. I actually know 2 people at my job that have a Windows phone.
And they're probably the saddest individuals you know.
Actually, no, they think their Windows phone's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
So they're delusional. Gotcha.
Yes, check.
So, what the game is about, it's basically a pocket version of Dynasty Warriors meets Spirit Stones a little bit. They have a PvP, which is basically just, it's not exactly PvP. It's you go up against other people's characters and you beat the snot out of them. You don't directly control your character when you do that, which is kind of stupid.
So it's kind of like the new battle in Spirit Stones?
Yeah. But except you don't have any control over your character.
More than a couple of games in a row.
This armor also does not do a good job of protecting these people.
No, they don't. Yes, you can buy the costumes and stuff like that. That's how they're getting all their money. They're crazy expensive. They're like $50 each per costume or something like that, or $40. It's just ridiculous. And then of course you can beat the game without buying stuff from the store. It's a little bit harder though, because the costumes and the bonus weapons actually add on to more damage and stuff like that. But there's also 2 other modes. There's the story mode, and then there's the dungeon mode. Dungeon mode, what I do so far is I just put it on auto and AFK, because all it is, it's grinding. So there is a neat feature in the game where you can, it even works in quest mode where if you already beat that level on easy, you can hit auto and just AFK if you want to. I don't, because in the higher levels you just get killed all the time if you try and do that. But not in dungeon mode. I usually do that just because it's just a grind for money, and you need a lot of it for everything. So far, my levels, I'm already 22, which is about halfway, and it takes about 15,000 gold per skill, which is ridiculous because it makes you level up like 8 skills at a time. It is a fun game. It's definitely a time killer. It also is a battery destroyer, as I like to call them.
How bad is it? How long can you keep your phone on before it just destroys the game?
I think I started at 100% one day, played it for about an hour, and I was down to 20.
Oh my god, that's nuts.
Yeah, so I usually...
I got an iPhone 5S not too long ago because I smashed my 4S, but I noticed the battery time on it's been a lot better. I can play Spirit Stones for an hour and it's only down not even half, so it's better. It's not.
It'll annihilate the battery. It doesn't matter which phone you have.
I'll have to. You said it's free to play?
Yeah, it's free to play.
And
it's a big download. You don't need Wi-Fi to download it though. So
that's good.
There's currently 3 classes you can play. There's the Dark Valkyrie, which is my favorite so far, the Berserker, then the Cat Acrobat.
Huh?
Cat Acrobat's like a ninja, or not a ninja, a rogue, and WoW, pretty much from the looks of it, just 2 daggers and smashy. Where a Berserker is pretty much an arms warrior, and then a Dark Valkyrie is a hot chick with a scythe. That's all I can pretty much announce.
A hot chick with a scythe.
Yeah.
This sounds a lot like Spirit Stones.
Well, it's made by the same company, so what do you expect?
Yeah. Right.
So that's all I got for this week. It's free to play if you have a smartphone. Yeah. I suggest getting it.
Awesome. So I kind of went dig pretty deep into my bag of tricks here, and I came back up with a game that I used to play on my old Atari 130XE. I understand it was also for Commodore, but I never saw that version. This is a game called Necromancer, and it was made by Bill Williams.
Necromancer?
Yeah. Hearthstone.
Melee?
Melee, yes. You got that one right.
Melee.
Necromancer.
Necromancer.
How do you guys play this game?
I'm just trying to figure out what a necromancer is.
Oh, you guys are buttheads.
You're the one mispronouncing words.
Words mean things, Veg.
Yeah, and for one second.
I know what they mean.
Veg, Ron doesn't word good.
No, he don't. So anyway, this game was it was a game that was in 3 parts, and you played the role of this necromancer.
Necro. Ron, this is Necromancer.
What is? What? Oh, he's sending me a chat.
That's a person who reanimates dead joints.
I'm pretty sure old people love them.
Guys. So you play the role of this guy who brings back dead things, and the first thing that you do on the first level is you have a certain number of seeds, and you have to plant the seeds. But there's these ogres that come across and will take your saplings and pretty much wreck them. You have to kill the saplings with your wisp. There's also a spider that comes along that will poison your poor little saplings and will hurt you if he gets too close to you. You can also destroy him with your wisp. And it gets harder and harder, and it goes on until you basically run out of strength. Everything you do requires strength in that level. So you get to the end of that level, and then you go through these tombs. And what you do is with the trees that you planted in the first round, you bring them to life, and you put them on these tombs where there's a spider egg. And eventually the trees will take root and crush the tomb, and therefore the spider egg. Your goal is to crush as many of the spider eggs as possible, because in the third phase, any of the spider eggs that went unhatched will attack you. And you have to fight against the evil mage guy at the very end.
The necromancer?
No, you're the necromancer.
Oh, you're the necromancer.
You're the necromancer.
It sounds like a very early version of Pikmin.
I've never heard of it.
Very fun game. I suggest playing it.
But yeah, I mean, this was a very unique game. It had very enchanting music. The title music was pretty cool. Very fun gameplay. I played it quite a bit. So.
Is the music an 8-bit chiptune?
It absolutely is. What else did they have back then?
The final confrontation between Illuminar and the Tetragorn takes place in a graveyard.
Yes, that's the one.
The final
Illuminar, that's your name. But yeah, that's Necromancer.
Hey, so that reminds me.
Yes, Dan.
I was Necro. I drove up to Madison, Wisconsin last week, which is why I was not able.
Madison.
One of the reasons why I wasn't able to do the podcast. And on the way there and on the way back, actually, it almost fit perfectly. I listened to the book Ready Player One, which anybody who listens to this podcast, you need to go read this book or listen to the audiobook. It is absolutely fantastic. It is about this guy living in like the 2040s or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's dystopian, like the world's run out of resources and everyone lives in like basically little settlement squalor sentiments.
Mm-hmm.
And but everyone logs into this virtual reality world all the time. And the creator of the virtual reality world dies, and he says that he's left an Easter egg in the virtual reality world. And if you can find it, you get $250 billion in a controlling share in his company that controls the entire world.
That always ends good.
And so, of course, like everyone goes out looking for this stuff. But the catch is that the guy was a teen in the 1980s. And so his knowledge of pop culture of the 1980s, gaming, music, and video, is what all of the clues are based around and what all of the puzzles are based around. And so basically, if you're listening to this and you like the 80s and 90s and stuff and video games and music and movies, you need to read this book because it's just pop culture reference from the start.
I think I read it back in high school when I did it.
Well, how old? That's right, you're younger. It came out like 2 to 3 years ago.
No, wait, no, I did that for fun then.
It's also, the audiobook is read by Will Wheaton, which
awesome.
He's an excellent audiobook reader. So I highly recommend this book if you guys haven't already read it. The book actually references him, which is kind of funny when he reads it.
Is this by Ernest Cline?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Awesome. Definitely, I'll actually post that in the. I'll post that.
Well, I remember reading. Yeah, I definitely do remember reading that. And it was definitely a lot better than the Lord of the Flies.
Yes, it was better than Lord of the Flies.
I hate that stupid book.
All right, so that will be it for the news. You know, it's kind of funny because it's not letting me post this to Facebook.
What made me think of it is you talked about Atari, and actually one of the things that was in the book was the game Adventure from Atari, where you had to fight the dragons that looked like ducks.
Yeah, they did look like
Ron,
ducks.
it wasn't the news.
What, Mitch?
It wasn't the news.
Whatever.
What do you mean, whatever?
Whatever.
So we'll move on from the game pick of the week.
Getting up my ass about stuff when I hosted.
You were like looking at your phone the whole time, and when people were done, you just like keep looking at your phone. It was amazing. So anyway, this is the part of the show that we like to call Dan Gets a Drink.
Yes. I'll finish this beer and get another one.
As we do a review of the last 2 weeks of League of Legends. Of course, last week we didn't show because these guys disappeared. But yeah.
Sorry, I was kind of asleep.
Talk about EU first. Of course, big news coming out of there. Alliance winning the EU LCS.
I like the fact that you were surprised.
I was. I thought Fnatic would come back and dominate the tournament, and they didn't. They didn't even win their.
Fnatic got their asses kicked.
So, yeah, and Alliance they beat them 3-1. And what did they play in the game that they lost? It was something bizarre.
I forget.
It was Zilean mid.
I think so. Yeah, Froggen was Zilean.
Yeah, he did Zilean mid, and they ended up losing. I mean, they beat them 3-1 in the final. So,
ass stompery.
Pretty much. And then, much to Vedge's chagrin, Super Hot Crew will be remaining in the LCS for 2015 Spring Split as Millennium goes back and they have to face relegation again.
Poor Millennium. 1 second phone call. Sorry.
Oh, Vedge has a phone call. I wonder if this is important. I can't even see who that is. Vedge is saying, what?
It's the president. He's being called in.
He muted himself so that we can't hear his conversation. It must be very private. Very personal.
He's having phone sex on the podcast.
Oh my god, Vedge, really? Isn't that Coles' thing to do?
Yeah, I'm wearing a gray t-shirt and glasses.
Oh, this is great. Oh, he had to take his headset off because we were trolling him a bit too hard there, I think.
I hope everything's okay. I mean, I'd feel bad if anything was wrong.
Yeah.
Nope, everything's okay.
Yeah, I could tell by his expression that everything is, quote, okay, unquote. We'll give him a moment here. Oh, he actually took the video off.
I hope now I'm actually...
Now I'm scared. I don't want him to turn the video back on because I don't know if I'm going to like what I see. Oh, we'll wait for him to come back since this is kind of his part.
All right, we'll edit out some time.
Oh yeah, we'll edit out
later.
Some. In the meantime, you can talk like Bob Ross.
What? How about? Yeah, hold on. I'm getting some Facebook chats.
Everybody's busy tonight.
I'm getting a few Facebook chats. I have to deal with those first.
Yes. Technical difficulties, as Veg has technical difficulties with his
I feel like he would chat us and tell us what he's doing.
I sent him a very kind Facebook message just now.
For a moment, he actually looks a little bit worried, so I hope like shit's okay. I feel like he would have said, "I gotta go," if he had to go.
Yeah. Comes back soon. This book that you have, apparently there's like a number of editions of them based on its language, and they all look different.
What? Let me look. If you go on Amazon, there's a paperback. Ready? Oh.
There's some that got like Space Invaders on it, or there's one with Pac-Man.
That's cool.
Hi, Veg.
Hi.
You okay?
No.
You're not okay. You need to go?
I don't know. Let's just go.
All right, so yeah, Super Hot Crew sending Millennium to the spring promotion tournament. Maybe Millennium will play Unicorns of Love and lose.
No. It's already bad enough that freaking Super Hot Crew's in it. They're just a whipping team at this point in my eyes.
They did good for the first half of the split, but I compare them to Dignitas.
No, Dignitas picked up.
No, they ended up 6th, dude.
Yeah, they were dead last at one point.
No, they were first place for a while.
Were they?
Yeah. They did really good, and then they just started losing and losing and losing. And, of course, that moving from EU to NA, their loss translated to a 3-1 loss to TSM today.
Yeah.
Now, I have to say that was the most amazing League of Legends series that I have ever seen. And that was just after 2 games.
Each were 60 minutes.
It was insane. Those games were long. They were close, except for the fourth game. TSM kind of blew it open in the fourth game, but just the first two games both ended with one person hitting the Nexus to win it, just backdooring and finishing the game, and it was just wild. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, of course, the NA LCS Summer Split ends next weekend with the finals on Labor Day, the 1st. So definitely be sure to check that out. Now, Veg, are we ever going to get a 6 Gaming League of Legends team together? What do you think?
No.
No?
No.
Why's that?
Because we still need a 5th. A dependable 5th.
Well, we only have... I mean, Cole's, of course, he's in the middle of moving to Atlanta right now, if you guys didn't know. He's going to be going to school there. I'm wondering if he's going to pick up his play and maybe get a little more serious about getting a 5-man team together. I think we can find someone. It's just a matter of who's out there to play.
Yeah, and who's willing to play.
Yeah, who can shake off their ladder anxiety. I think that's the worst part about League of Legends, the ladder anxiety.
Oh,
because
it's horrible.
You want to play, but you don't want to be going into a game where you're going to get called out and get cussed at and all kinds of
That's
things.
why I stopped playing ranked for the most part.
Yeah.
Oh, you die once to a failed gank, even though you come back 15-1. Oh, you're still a horrible jungler. You need to quit and uninstall.
Yeah,
Such a damn noob.
But it's basically what I've learned to do with that is just roll with it. Just ignore them if they get excessive. But these people usually don't know what they're talking about either, because they're in bronze too. So it's just a matter of getting people together that want to play. I'd love to get a team together.
Oh yeah.
Start playing a little more seriously. So anyway, that's enough for League of Legends. Dan,
what?
You have a good gold goblining tip for Warlords, right?
Yeah, and this is something that I actually failed to do for Pandaria because I wasn't really into the gold making yet. I had done a little bit at the end of Kata. I was making some gems for transmuting, but basically just collect and sell. It's so simple, but the very first day, all the mats, because everyone wants to be leveling their crafting professions, if you have herbalism, mining, or skinning, you are going to make bank, but you have to babysit your auctions. That's the problem, is that you have to be willing to not level those things. You have to go in, you have to go pick all the flowers or whatever, mine the nodes, get a few hundred or whatever, however many you want to get, and then go sit at the auction house for a couple hours and post your auctions, and then immediately look to see if you've been undercut and cancel and repost just constantly until you get stuff sold. And alternately, if you want to do crafting instead of gathering, you can do basically the same thing. You just buy up the mats that you need. Don't bother going and collecting them. Just buy up the mats that you need, and then craft whatever you want to craft. And especially if it's the things, I don't know if it'll be this way because I haven't looked at it, but if it's like, you craft a daily and then you get a pattern, there's a good chance that you'll be one of the only people who have that pattern to start for at least a couple hours at least. So if people are looking to gear up immediately and they have any patterns like that, you'll be the only person who has that available, and you can just keep crafting them and posting them, and people who want that will only have you to buy from. I was kind
of like the bags or the 28 slot bags that tailors can make right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's that, and also when the Imperial Silk and the Celestial Silk and the whatever the leather was called, Savage, no. Whatever the high grade leather was called, and then the Trillium ore or whatever. No, the
belt.
Yeah. Anyway,
belt buckle.
Well, but the thing is, what I mean is all the PvP gear. So when you can make all those, there's like 50 PvP recipes or whatever for cloth and for leather and chain, and if you get one of those, make it and sell it, because there will not be many of those up for sale, and people will want them.
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the things that I did in Mists of Pandaria was, while I was leveling and questing and stuff, I would basically stop for any mining node that I saw. And Salitha did the same thing with her herbs. Now, of course, she did a bunch of stuff with her herbs, but I ended up selling a lot of my stuff. And I tell you, I think I made 100,000 in probably the first month. It was easy money.
Yeah.
People are the stuff was in high demand. People were buying it up. The market eventually came down, but it still was very good for as long as I did it for. And with ore, you say that you have to babysit your options. As long as you're like one of the lowest ones, you're going to be fine. Because
there's so much volume that it'll probably be okay.
You're always going to get bought out. So anyway, I think that's a very good tip, because it'll work out pretty good. So, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. So let's talk about 6 minutes to release and the guild news. Of course, we've got a lot to cover over the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, we took Garrosh down all guild in 2 attempts. And it was freaking amazing. We had great DPS. People were on the ball. Unfortunately, I wasn't feeling very well that night, so I had to bow out after that. But last week was a bit different. We kind of twiddled our thumbs and took our time getting to the last boss. And by the time we did, we didn't have any time to do anything with them, and we ended up not killing him, which sucked. Because I thought we could have done it that night. We just didn't.
Yeah, Paragon's kind of whooped us.
No, that was the week before.
Oh yeah.
The week before is when we just had trouble even getting that far. This week was interesting. This past week was interesting because first night we go in, we're an hour late. We've got 2 pugs with us, or a half hour late. We got 2 pugs with us, and we just steamrolled through the first 8 bosses. We had General down before we knew what we were doing. It was great. The next night we go in and we face roll the first 4 bosses. It's the first time we've one-shot that many bosses that quickly. And then we got to the bugs. And let me tell you, I had no idea what was going on that night. I don't know. I mean, we had some deaths that I've never seen before. We just couldn't kill those bugs until the very end.
I was in there one time with you guys when we got there, and it seemed like it was so rote. Like, nobody died, and it was super easy. It was crazy, and I was probably putting out low DPS.
And that's the way that fight usually goes. We had high DPS in there. We had Aspire. We had me. We had Veg was tanking that night, right?
Yeah.
I think we had Rakera healing. Soli was tanking. Ree was there.
Dutchy was healing.
Yeah, Dutchy was healing. So we definitely had the heals. We definitely had the DPS. We just were dying to like so many silly things. We had an instance where we had those stupid little what are those things called that the first boss does? If you don't.
Oh, the worms.
Yeah, the worms. Because it went to a non-tank. I mean, just stuff that was like absolutely crazy happening.
Yeah, the weird thing is I taunted him like twice, and he just wouldn't get off Nor.
Yeah, that's who it went on. That's right, it went on Noru. And then we had people dying to the blue cloud thing. We're supposed to stack up.
I thought that was fun.
Like, how often do we even see the blue? I mean, we're usually destroying these guys so fast. That was just very annoying. I was very glad to get rid of that. And I'm hoping that on Monday we can do another 1 or 2 shot and just be done with it. So one of the other things I wanted to bring up is what we will be doing as a guild for the next 3 months. Obviously, we have it's less than 3 months now until the next XPAC, and this instance, we've been going through this instance now for almost an entire year. It's been 11 months since release. I wouldn't say we have the instance on farm yet. It's pretty close. We have a bunch of people that want to continue to progress, try to do the hard modes, and there's others that are just happy getting to the last boss and getting the Garrosh kill, maybe run it on a couple vaults, whatever. And for me as a guild master, that makes it really hard to make everyone happy, because you could say, hey, we're going to do these hard modes, but then have half the people either not show up or just go but be disgruntled or whatnot. And then if you go the other way and say, oh yeah, let's just do what we've been doing, run the alts, you got these people, oh, we've been doing this for 11 months, I'm done with this, I want to do something new, I want to do other things. And I really haven't come to a decision on what we're going to do for these last 3 months, but I would say if we can keep getting Garrosh down, because I think that's the biggest thing that we need to do at this point, get those weapons in there. If we can get him down regularly, we got to start doing something else.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've killed him what, 6 times now, 7?
At least we've killed him a lot, and of course that last, when they put down the 6.0 patch, one of the things that's going to come out with that is that when you kill Garrosh, you're going to get a guaranteed weapon if you haven't gotten one yet.
Is that on 10-man, or is that everything?
I think it's everything.
Oh god, an LFR BOA weapon, that just sounds like garbage.
Well, I'm not saying LFR, just on any mode. If you get on normal, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
They have a weapon that you can use to 100. You don't even have to worry about getting a weapon.
Yeah, exactly. Unless they made them completely garbage, and then I'm just not going to be a happy camper.
Yeah, I don't think they'd do that. I think that'd be a little wrong of them. So, but
are we ever going to hear when they're going to release 6.0?
No, I have not. I'd be willing to bet that it will be released around the time of their anniversary. Because, of course, as we reported last time, they've got some big changes coming up in the anniversary, including LFR Molten Core, the South Shore versus Terran Mill Battleground. That's got to come in through a patch, and that's either going to be
they're going to be big patches
or 6.0.
I am still not Molten Core LFR. My God,
that's going to be awesome. It's going to be epic.
Are you sure it's not going to be? Are you sure it's not going to be just 25 man?
It's 40 man. 40. It's going to be amazing.
My frames are already suffering as it is.
You're going to have, and on top of that, you will have 39 other window lickers in there with you, doing their job, making sure the windows are all clean.
With their blood.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, definitely looking. I personally am looking forward to that because I want to see how bad it's going to be.
Oh, it's going to be atrocious. I can already tell you now. I can save you the hours of wiping and no frames for like half the raid.
And you're just going to say, just don't go, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go. Veg says, do not do Molten Core 40, folks.
Unless you just want to bang your head against the keyboard for the next hour.
Absolutely. All right.
I'm just curious to how many tanks they're going to need.
Yeah, that's something. How is it balanced? Is it going to be like the way it used to be?
I remember back in the day, you needed 8 tanks and like 16 healers.
Yeah, you need 8 tanks for that one fight specifically, the console fight at the end.
Yeah.
So, crazy. Anyway, that wraps up the 6 minutes to release guild news. Now let's figure out what the fuck are you guys listening to. And this week I figured we'd do something a little special because we have that upcoming expansion, and we've talked a lot about Warlords of Draenor today. I wanted to ask you guys, what was your favorite music from the Mists of Pandaria expansion pack? And Penth, I'm going to start with you because I like yours. We got Vagar here. All right, Penth.
Well, I just want to say that my favorite music from all of World of Warcraft is Totems of the Grizzlemaw. I don't think anything from Heart of Pandaria or from Pandaria stood up to that. It's just amazing music.
Yeah, that's a pretty good piece. It sounds like it's got a lot of heart to it, and even though it's just like one, the fiddle at the beginning, it turns into something really cool.
Yeah, it hits you in the feels.
It hits you in the feels, yes.
So my favorite song is the I don't know the actual name of it, but it's basically
Stormstout Brew.
Is Stormstout Brew, which is the music from inside the inns.
And
so
it's not just any piece. There's one version of this in particular that you're referring to.
Yeah. But there's a one of the first inns that you go into, not the one in the fish village, but one of the other villages. I walked in, and it's got like kazoo music,
Yes.
and we were all sitting around on chat or on Vent, and Ron was just like, "Has anyone been in an inn yet?" I'm like, "I'm in one right now, and it's amazing."
Yeah, that music, it was something else. That's just the kazoo music, and yeah, they play it all over the place. It's not just the it's in the inns, but I mean, a lot of the inns play it. But there's different versions of it.
Yeah.
And the kazoo one in particular is just like, really, they used a kazoo. Really?
I'm just wondering who got paid to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a lot of fun with that too. I mean, they just try a whole bunch of different things, and if they come up with something that sticks, hey, why not? So yeah, Storm Stout Brew, definitely like that one.
God.
Veg, yours was pretty simple.
Yeah, mine's the login screen. When every time I get disconnected, I don't mind listening to it for a minute.
It's called the Heart of Pandaria.
Yes.
And typically what Russell Brower's been doing with the music on the login screens is basically a medley of a lot of the music that plays in that particular X-Pack. And then they also go back to old school stuff. They'll play some from the original theme. It's just a big medley. But it's it sounds different and it flows together really nice. And they just do such a wonderful job that, like Veg said, you don't mind having to listen to it, other than the fact that, crap, I just got kicked out.
Yeah, thanks, Lizard Squad. Bunch of douchebags.
Douchebags, Lizard Squad. All right. So the one that I wanted to bring up was the song is called Jinzu Valor. It's one that plays in around the Kunlai Summit and in the monastery, Shadowpond Monastery as well. And I always like this song because it's like the song that I relate the whole struggle between the Shadowpond and the Shah. And normally those are the situations that you hear this music in. And I also found out one night that it happens to also be in the same key and very similar chord progressions to Linkin Park's Easier to Run.
Yeah, I remember you doing something with that.
Yeah,
I thought that was. I remember. Didn't you? Was it you that put it together?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Easier to Run from the Shah.
Yeah, that's the name of it. Easier to Run from the Shah. I still have it out there. I just haven't known. Don't really know what to do with it because it's not like it sounds dirty. It's not like Cole's dirty, but it's the sound.
It's a bad girl that needs it's a bad schoolgirl that needs a spanking dirty.
It's a game evil girl.
Schoolgirl. I don't know.
Game evil.
It's probably on that level, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't wear sufficient armor, dirty. But yeah,
I think you said duty.
Veg, why? Why? Oh, you've given me two of those tonight. You realize? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Thumbs up, like and subscribe, folks. All right, Jinzu Valor. That does it for What the Fuck Are You Listening To? And we're coming up on the end of the podcast, guys. 37 in a row.
We're almost on schedule.
Yeah, well, we would have been on schedule if you weren't late.
Yeah, or if Veg didn't disappear for 5 minutes.
You were later than it took him to come back. But anyway, before we actually
don't
get to
blame
the
this
statements,
on me.
Before we actually get to the closing statements, I wanted to. We haven't had a contest in a while, so I figured that I'd do a contest for our listeners that come here week after week, and basically the winner's going to get 1 free month of WoW. It's going to be chosen at random for the correct answers. And I'm sure you guys will be able to find this on the internet. But the topic of this is actually something that I consider, it's kind of central to gaming. Gaming is an escape. It's an escape. We don't play it because of the violence. We don't play it because of the sexism or whatever in it. We play it because it's fun. Well, Veg, that's because you're, haven't gone through puberty yet.
Oh, I can't grow a beard, so touche.
So yeah, and I wanted to read this quote, and the contest is you need to name who said this. And I actually have it on the episode here, and I haven't put it here, so I don't even think Veg and Dan know who it is unless they've looked it up already. So here's the quote. It's just a fun little game, kind of like when people get into Candy Crush so much. Like, is it good to be obsessed with candy? It's just something fun to do. All games, I think, are just entertaining. I'll say it. I said it once. I'm not saying it again. Who said that? If you can figure out who said that.
You did, just now.
Other than me. Other than me, come on. Asshat. There's a chat message up here. I'm afraid to click it because it might show on my Twitch screen. I think Veg may already know. So anyway, closing statements. Veg, what you got?
I got a gerb.
You got a gerb. Congratulations on your gerb, Coach
I
Z.
took your gerb.
I don't know who's a better Coach Z here, though. You got a gerb. Congratulations. That means
No, that's Jorb.
Oh, that's right. It's Jorb.
That's a Jorb. That's South Park is. They took her gerbs.
I got my memes mixed up. Damn it. I feel terrible now.
Yeah, you should.
Well done.
But yeah, congrats to Veg. Hope you don't terrorize the people you work with. Try not
I will.
Your gravity well. Penth.
The email. Check the email.
What?
Oh man. Oh,
God.
you're my D-O-G-E. My nose. All right.
Fluffy puff marshmallows.
They're fluffity. They're puffity.
Come on, Fahuku gods. Come on, Fahuku gods. Everybody
I'm gonna do this one.
To the limit. Come on, Fahuku gods.
I'm gonna do this one, but I might be scaring some of the listeners away. Yeah. I already have one correct answer, by the way, for the contest.
Wow.
Yes, it's been quick. So.
They're fast.
All right. So, Ree wants to leave us with a closing statement. She says, "Remember, if your ood is happy, you're happy." And that's all for the Six Gaming Podcast for this week.
Love an ood. Oods are cool. Love an ood.
I'm Ron.
I'm Veg.
I'm the doctor.
And we'll see you next week. See you, bye.